I'm just thinking about judgment versus compassion. How often do you judge other people, the world, yourself? Probably quite a lot. We all do. We all have these default programs in our minds that try and tell us that in order for us to feel our own sense of identity, our sense of self, then there is other. There are these others. And in order to really firm up that sense of self, we then have opinions, thoughts, feelings, judgments about those others. He should, she shouldn't, they are or aren't one thing or another. And we tell ourselves stories in our minds about the things we see that other people have said, done, not done, and of everything that's going on in the world around us. And we also tell ourselves stories about the thoughts and feelings and actions that we have or haven't taken. And we judge that too. And we do that from the place of the ego, which is basically just the place that sees us as a self. And therefore, in order to see us as a self, we have to see others as a separate thing. And what ends up happening in that judgment is that we create disconnection. The ego has to create disconnection in order to be able to justify its sense of self-identity. I am separate to you, says the ego. And so an easy way to feel that is to judge you, which creates that disconnection. And it can be a really challenging thing to notice, to choose to move away from, to override in certain ways. But when we think about it, ultimately, that deeper, wiser thing inside us, that rather than that egoic mind, that egoic self, that almost kind of higher self inside us, the person that we really truly would choose to be on purpose, is all about connection. From a deep place, without the ego trying to tell us to disconnect in order to identify as itself, what we really want is connection with ourselves, with others, with the world, with everything around us, that actually helps us feel safe, and it helps us to feel, experience, share, give, receive love. And that connection comes not from the judgment, but from the compassion. So have a think about where your default programs and patterns, your egoic mind, when you're kind of just sleepwalking through, is trying to keep you in disconnection. Have a think about that and see if you can notice those times. And you'll notice them by the judgments. You'll notice them when you're about to say something about someone that's actually just a pure judgment. It's just a pure story that you're telling yourself, or you're thinking something about someone else or about yourself that's just a story, just a judgment. And see if you can notice that and choose something else. Can you choose compassion instead? Can you choose to come back to connection? As soon as we notice, as soon as we become aware of the ego trying to keep us in me, mine, I, self, other, then we're not in the ego anymore. As soon as we can just notice it and become the observer of the ego, then actually we're in a wonderful place to be able to say, I don't choose that. I don't choose that now in this moment. In this moment, I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to choose to bring compassion, openness, curiosity to whatever situation is happening, whether it's in our own selves or to do with others or the world. I choose compassion over judgment. It's not going to happen every single time. And I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do until you practice, but it's certainly quite simple when we think about it. Do you choose judgment or do you choose compassion? Ponder on that for the rest of your day. See you soon. Thanks so much for watching my video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you get notified when I create more videos, which I do every couple of weeks. And also head over to my website because there's loads of amazing free content on there for you. And there is also a fantastic free workshop mini-series at the moment called Living on Purpose, which is all about getting clarity and kind of thinking about your purpose and just having a moment to really get clear on where you're going from a place that's aligned to who you truly are. So check that out on my website. I'll put the details below and I'll see you again next time. Take care.